Hey everyone, this is Miss Briscoe here with today's math lesson. You're going to need the notes that were on the assignment page just above this video. You're going to want to have those printed out so that you can follow along and complete them as we go through our lesson today. Our learning goal today is I can identify and classify polygons. So on your notes you have a couple different definitions that you need to write down, and you can pause this video anytime that you need to so that you can write the definition of the vocabulary word down. So the first vocabulary word that we have in our lesson is sides. Now you've seen this definition before in math, so some of this is going to be a review. So the side or sides of a polygon are one of the line segments that make up a polygon. So if I'm looking at a triangle down here, a triangle is a polygon, and the side is the line segment. So in a triangle, there's 3 line segments. There's 1, 2, and 3. So in a triangle, there's 3 line segments that make up a triangle. And a quadrilateral have 4. So that means a triangle has 3 sides, and a quadrilateral has 4 sides. So a side is any point in between 2 vertices. That is one side. Angles. Angles are 2 rays with a common end point. And a lot of times when you see an angle, it'll look like this. So sometimes you can have angles. That is an angle. It is 2 rays with a common end point. So that means that these rays would keep going in either direction, but they have a common end point, which is right here. So that is what angles are. And then our next definition is vertices, the point at which 2 sides of a polygon meet. So vertices are kind of like angles. So the vertices are where 2 sides of a polygon meet. So if you look at a triangle, there's 3 angles and there's 3 vertices, because angles and vertices are the same thing almost when you're talking about polygons. So this triangle has 3 vertices and 3 angles. Excuse me. The next definition we have is a polygon. A polygon is a closed plane figure formed by 3 or more segments. So if you look, each of these shapes are polygons because there's 3 or more line segments in each of them, and they're closed. That means there is no opening. An open polygon doesn't exist because a polygon has to be closed. But if you had a shape like a C, that's not a polygon because it has a big gap right here. So a polygon has to be closed. Then our next definition is congruent polygon. So congruent polygon are 2 polygons that have the same shape and are the same size. So a triangle and a square could not be congruent because they're not the same shape. You would need 2 triangles that were exactly the same shape and size, or 2 quadrilaterals to make them congruent polygons. And then a regular polygon. That means that all the sides and all the angles are congruent. They're all the same length and they're the same shape. That is a regular polygon. So those are our definitions for today. If you need to rewind or pause the video, go ahead and write down those definitions before you move on. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling in our charts as we're looking at these different polygons. So we're going to be talking about some of the more common polygons, and we're going to be going through and filling out how many sides, angles, and vertices they have so that you'll be able to use this in the future. So let's start with a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides, which is already been there for us, and as we talked about, it already has 3 vertices and 3 angles. And remember, vertices and angles are going to be very similar. So there's 3 angles in a triangle, and there's 3 vertices in a triangle. And if we move over to our quadrilateral, it has 4 sides. And if we wanted to count up how many angles And how many vertices our quadrilateral has? There are 4. And if you haven't already noticed, there is a pattern. So let's move on to our pentagon. This pentagon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. And let's see how many vertices it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 vertices and 5 angles. Our hexagon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And if you were to count up all the vertices and angles, there would be 6. So if you haven't noticed, there is a pattern already. Polygons have the same number of sides, angles, and vertices. They should all be the same as you go through them. So as you can see, for us to fill out our chart, it would be pretty easy for us to use that knowledge to fill it out instead of having to count up all of them. So as we come down our chart, the heptagon has 7 sides, an octagon has 8 sides, a nonagon has 9 sides, and a decagon has 10 sides. So those are all of the sides for our different polygons. So let's go ahead and let's move on to a little bit of practice. So here I have 3 different polygons listed for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to use your chart to look at these polygons, and I want you to tell me first, is this a regular polygon? And second, name the polygon. So if you notice, these polygons have lines and they have little boxes and little half circles. The lines that you see on these polygons, so there's that line, and that line, because all the lines are the same on each polygon all the way around it, those lines are telling you that those sides are equal. So any side that has just one line equals all the other sides with one line. And the same thing with the boxes. See how this box right here matches this box? Those boxes are telling you that the angles on this square are congruent. They are the exact same size. Same thing here. This angle matches the symbol drawn on this angle. Those are congruent angles. That means they're exactly the same size. Same thing with this one. So you're going to go through with these different polygons and you are going to tell me if they are a regular polygon and what you would name the polygon. So go ahead and pause your video and try that now. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at these polygons. This first one, it is regular because all the sides and all the angles are the same size and shape. So this would be a regular polygon. And the name for this polygon would be a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides and 4 angles and 4 vertices. And if we were to go over to our next one, our next shape here, all the sides and angles are the same length and there are 6 of them. So there are 6 sides, 6 vertices, and 6 angles. And so what you could do is you could refer back to your chart and you could say, okay, the hexagon has 6. And if you come down here to this last shape, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 sides, 8 angles, 8 vertices. It is a regular polygon because all the angles and sides are the equal length. And the name for an 8-sided polygon is a octagon. So if you got all those correct, give yourself a pat on the back. You can rewind this video, you can pause it. Make sure you have your notes completed. Use your notes to help you work on your practice today. And I look forward to talking with you guys tomorrow for a math lesson.